AITA for leaving a bday party because of a racist translation request? Going to try to keep this short and sweet. I'm still getting text messages and it's making me more upset to read them. I went to a birthday party for Annie, my sister, F34, I, M36, and my wife, F36. When as we were able to get her parents to watch the boy, our 16-mo son. It was a normal adult birthday party as she has no kids. She had some of her friends over and our parents. I'm white and all of my family are all white. Important for the story. My wife is Chinese, was born in China, and became a citizen when her and her family moved to the US when she was 16. She's 100% a US citizen. No green card. And she and all of her family speak Mandarin. My wife can speak English very well but her family, mostly elders, don't speak a lick of it. I've been learning Mandarin as it's my wife's cultural language. It's cool AF. And I want the boy, and future children, to be able to speak both of our languages. It's been about 2.5 years and I'm not very conversational yet. But I pick up on a lot of things. Can understand the basic gist of most conversations. And I can speak basic sentences like, "Is the food hot?" or "The boy's diaper has been changed," quote, etc. I've also learning how to read and write Mandarin. Mostly reading right now as I find it helps me learn better. And I sometimes drop cool sentences into the family chat on Facebook. Annie doesn't speak very much in it but will post Fox articles. Usually articles about China that are very critical of the government. I'm not sure if she's racist against Chinese people. She's never said anything negative to my wife in any way. So last night, we're at the dinner table when Annie hands me a slip of paper. I ask what this is as I unwrap it. It says, Tiananmen Square 1989. And I look up at her and she has this dumb grin on her face. I ask her what this is and she goes, "Can you translate that into Mandarin?" Quote. This is where people seem to think I'm the asshole. I got really freaking mad. I immediately started yelling, called her a racist, and said we were leaving. My mom and dad got mad. Annie said I was being dramatic. And her friends, all of whom are also white, didn't see what the big deal was. I basically told everybody off using very big adult words before leaving. My phone started blowing up with text messages saying, "You're not even Chinese, what the hell," and "You ruined her birthday party." I briefly spoke to my mom this morning where I tried to explain why what she did was racist, targeted towards me and my family, and is unacceptable behavior. I told my mom that I won't be going to the house anymore if she's there and that she needs help. My mom softly echoed what my sister said. With all these text messages, I'm not sure anymore if I overreacted. My wife was unaffected by the whole thing but understands why I'd be upset. I don't know. Am I the asshole for reacting this way? I don't understand why people can't see that his sister is picking on his wife in a way that is racist. NTA, your sister is. You may not be Chinese but your child is. You need to protect your child from the blatant racism of your family. NTA. Info. Your wife speaks English. What excuse did your sister offer for you needing to translate at all? Hard NTA. Your sister is very clearly upset that you married someone of Chinese descent. Posting Fox News articles about China is not a normal thing to do in a family chat. I wouldn't back down on this at all. NTA. You're not even Chinese. Quote. Fun fact. Decent people are disgusted with bigotry regardless of whether they belong to the group being discriminated against. NTA. Racial profiling someone with an insult? That is low. I have crossed paths with several new Canadians recently, notably from Afghanistan. Ukraine, Israel. The cab driver, on Saturday, was a young Arab Israeli fellow, fresh to Canada. When he told me this, I was dumbfounded. What kind of things has he seen and put up with? I would never make smirky jokes about what these people had to endure. NTA. Are you sure Annie is in her 30s? What a childish dig to try to make to insult your choice to learn Mandarin and your wife's heritage. NTA. I didn't understand this thread at first, because Annie's behavior seems so bizarre and pointless. That's what racism is, though. Stupid and pointless. And let's throw in evil for good measure. 2. I agree that handing the paper to her brother with a smirk and a grin was done to aggravate him. It's really creepy that she is apparently dwelling on this topic. It seems like she may be entertaining hateful thoughts in her head much of the time. It's especially unnerving to think about her brooding and planning such meanness. Your sister may very well have some sort of mental health issues. Op. People like her often get worse with time. 2. I agree with you to stay far away from her. You need to protect your nuclear family. NTA. Hard NTA. In fact, good job for standing up for your wife and family like that. As an ABC, gotta say that white people trying to say Tiananmen Square as a stupid gotcha is so annoying and blatantly racist. WTF does her being Chinese have to do with Tiananmen Square? Aside from the fact that she is Chinese? Does your racist sister think she's responsible for it? Does she think her family worship the government and are brainwashed, so she needs to rub her American freedom #1 ego over them by this display of dominance? There was no reason for her to pick such a politically charged event aside from stroking her own ego or humiliating somebody else's. She's a sad little woman who loves to live in her ignorant bubble, eating up Fox News because she's too afraid to venture outside a neighborhood that isn't mayonnaise colored. NTA. Who in their right mind brings something like this, does something like this at any birthday party, let alone their own? Your sister knew what she was doing, using her own party as an excuse to ramp up behavior that she absolutely knows is inappropriate, and now gets to play the victim because she was just asking innocent questions. You, my friend, are a human. You are rightly upset at this insult to not just your wife and her culture but to your own choice and judgment. Say to all the naysayers, if it's not a big deal, why didn't she ask my wife to translate the note? Who was she going to quote this tragic date and locate to? Just do yourself a favor and go low contact. NTA. NTA. Your sister is racist. Maybe hand her something that references America's past sins like the eugenics movement of the 1900s, the origin of the word moron, or even the fact that the entire country is full of the descendants of invaders. NTA. Good on you for defending your wife. Standing up to family isn't always easy. Your sister sounds like a dick. NTA. I think your sister was testing the waters and her attacks would get more and more blatant and aggressive. It was good that you caught it and cut it off immediately. So your sister thinks your wife was a tank driver for the People's Army? NTA. Imagine the response if your wife had made jokes in front of your family about high school shootings in the USA. Your sister is broken and you need to keep her away from your wife and kids for the sake of your marriage. Mom should concentrate on trying to repair her parenting failure rather than victim blaming you and yours. I don't know why this is, but with some white majority events, I live in a not so diverse city as a black person with a Chinese American partner. I've had people try to start the "can you believe people aren't allowed to talk about Tiananmen Square" convo more often than normal. Usually it's older people, like 55 plus. But I just start asking them, can you believe how few Americans know about the MOVE bombing? Or understand COINTELPRO? Or didn't know about the Tulsa massacre until a TV show called Watchmen? Wild what governments get away with. You are definitely NTA. NTA. Nobody should be compelled to belittle or outright attack another person or group. NTA. I'd probably have advised cold dignity over yelling, just so that you can't be faulted on the form. Now, the deathly events at Tiananmen Square in 1989 were a terrible human rights violation and a tragedy. But using them to bully your wife at what was supposed to be a family celebration is no less reprehensible, and a lot more racist, than when, for example, someone handed me, German by birth, a little note about Kristallnacht or the final solution of the Jewish question with a request to write it in German. NTA definitely not the a-hole as a mixed couple white Asian. We got quite a lot of microaggressions from our family both sides, but this one you had. This is macro. And yes, both of us already exploded to our family and it sets boundaries. They are now more careful before opening their mouth. So I don't think that you overreacted. It is necessary to strongly stand your ground and avoid future aggressions. I had to look up the Tiananmen Square 1989 as that is something I didn't learn about. And I am absolutely disgusted by your sister. She is blatantly and passive-aggressively be racist, and the fact that she would ask you to basically translate about a massacre. What is with her? Her friends siding with her isn't a shocker. They probably are racist too. Your parents on the other hand, by taking her side, agree that her behavior is acceptable. I would honestly distance myself from all of them. Imagine them saying racist or prejudiced things to or around your child. SMHNTA op.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.